this minute that I am speaking to you, as you hear it, some people lost their lives. So Job, as you know, the history of Job is a man, not for the fault of his own, not because of his unrighteous and holy life, for we know that Job lived a holy and righteous life, and God blessed him abundantly. And what did the Satan do? Satan brought him into the picture where he decided to try to test the Lord our God, who himself, God, was proud of Job. He was showing Job off as a holy and righteous man. How many of you today can be sure that God, or know that God will show them off, as you say in the reading? There are so a lot of people that show off because they believe they are holy and righteous. But it is not my confession of my mouth and the word I spoke about me taking pride and claiming or proclaiming to be holy and righteous that matters. The question today in the Bible school is that, are you sure that God is so proud of your holy and righteous life that he now uses you as a pawn to answer the devil who snuck up among the angels to come in his presence? What I'm saying to you can find in the book of Job in chapter 1 and chapter 2. That is the stage when this trial and tribulations was staged. Job had nothing to do with this. This is between God and Satan. And the Lord showed him off just as he later showed off Jesus Christ. Will the Lord show you off? Knowing that you will face trials and tribulations of any kind and still come out standing on the side of the Lord. When people like Eliphaz, a friend of Job, and if you see from the word, was mocking him. He was laughing at him, like those of you who might be going through trials and tribulations right now. Some of the things that is happening to you, you had nothing to do with it. You are a holy and righteous person, but yet you are suffering right now. Probably you lost your job. Probably you lost your loved one. Probably a lot of things were going wrong or are going wrong right now in your life. And your friends are going to mock you, just like Eliphaz was mocking Job. He was telling him about all the things that he said that Job did not do, based on the account of the whole book of Job. Job lost all his children and his wife, all his wealth, and everything completely has been taken from him. And upon that, the Lord permitted the devil to strike him with disease. There are some people that argue whether God can allow something like that to happen. We saw in the example of Job that God allowed it to happen. Satan proposed it to God. You have to read the whole of the Job too. So I'm going to summarize that a little bit. Satan proposed it to him. It's because of the blessings and the protection that you have given him is the reason why he serves you and loves you so much. Take it away from him and you will see. So after he took away, killed all the children and the family and took away, he said, no, it's because he gave him good health. And then he go back. Of course, he said, okay, go ahead, but don't take his life. Don't touch his life. And then in that sickness, Eliphaz, who's supposed to be a friend to encourage him, decides to attack him. So what do you say about that in your life? And how do you see that in the play in the world that we have today? There are some things that Eliphaz says that are true here. If you look at them, not because it applies to Job, but because it reflects on the way the world thinks. The world that says there is no God as you saw him And you see how he mocked him because he was he's a wealthy and healthy man and a very successful man, the rich and the wealthy in the world today. How many of them can say they are holy and righteous like Job? Are they like the people Eliphaz was referring to, those that said there is no God? And he's saying that God is not going to do anything to us no matter what we do. Is God going to come from heaven and descend in cloud and come here in order to do anything? He was also not mocking only Job, he was actually mocking God. There are people like that that has been talking like that, and they still talk like that. People that believe that because they have accumulated everything, it is all in gold and silver. It's about wealth. That do not care about the poor and the weak and the sick, and those that have lost the ability to be able to succeed in their life, that lacks the opportunity to succeed. Those that are struggling in one way or another. And his suggestion about how and what Job got to do in order to be reconciled with God, because he believed that his suffering is because of his sins. We find that a lot when you find a lot of people, because they are poor, but they love God and serve God, and they are happy, rejoicing, and contented with the way they are. People say they are suffering because of the things they have done, or they are serving God because they are poor. So I want us to reflect on these things in the Bible Sunday school today, and think about those kind of things that you say about somebody else. It's not just about what people say about you, but the things that you say out of your mouth. The word that instead of encouraging and helping someone to go through a tribulations and the sufferings, then we condemn them and we judge them, and we even spell out the punishment God should give them.